Crazy.
The match review officer's done his work and the tribunal's
poorly
tomorrow night.
Done it very, very poorly.
We're going to say that. Let me do the Sydney side of things first and then we'll go. I know you're itching to talk about Dustin Martin. So, the curious suspension of Dane Rampy, which landed without terribly much warning on Friday. A 2-match suspension from an off-the-ball incident, and the defence has begun through John Longmire today.
You just can't legislate against everything, and particularly football actions. And once again, if you look at this really closely, it's you know, an opposition player was leading the ball. He had his hand out, pointing in the direction where he wanted it. A left footer was going to kick it to him. Dane was doing what he should be doing, which is getting up the ground and trying to get in a position to spoil. There was a last-minute change of direction, and unfortunately, these things happen.
So this is a really interesting case tomorrow night. The footage is a bit grainy. The collision is made because of Rampy, and we'll learn from the medical report last night what it does cause to McNeil, but I presume it's concussion.
So we just try to block him, right? So he's running across and he blocks him. The problem for Dane Rampy is, right, it's a football act, but you're not allowed to block him in the head.
That's right. It is strict liability.
That's what it is.
If you choose to make that contact and it goes high, you're responsible.
And that's why Dane Rampy, I think, will be in trouble. Now, I'm not sure Dane Rampy's a dirty player. He's an unusual player. And I mean that in the nicest possible way, climb goalposts. But Dane Rampy's been a damn fine player for 13, 14 years, and he's not a dirty player. To me, that was really good defensive work to stop the run before it happens. But the problem is you hit him in the head when he's doing it, so he's in trouble. Yeah,
so we'll learn a bit with David Zeta tomorrow night on that front. Did you think Dustin Martin would get suspended?
Oh, he had to, Jared. I feel because it's Dustin Martin he got off. I was watching The Last Dance. Yeah, I know my life's boring, Jared. But I was watching The Last Dance a little bit last night, and it was about Michael Jordan. And Magic Johnson and Larry Bird complaining that, you know, Michael Jordan never gets fouls called against him. And I'm sitting here thinking, I bet you he gets off because it's Dustin Martin, and people say that's ridiculous. We were supposed to... If you flagrantly send an elbow back into the darkness, I know it was only hit him here, but if you send it back, you lose your right to play because that's not in the rules to flail an elbow back. What if it slipped up and hit him in the jaw? Sorry, I didn't mean to do it. You did it. You did it. And the AFL says, no, it's OK, Dusty. You'll be right, the contact wasn't really severe. So we're going to allow that, kids. So all you kids out there, do it this weekend.
Don't say that.
So this is the problem, Jared. I'm being a smart ass.
Yeah.
But this is the problem. Okay, so they see it and they'll do it.
Yeah, I don't want to argue the...
You should.
I want to argue the extreme part of it. He has been fined, so he is guilty of a reportable offence, and that is an intentional action in the game. So it comes back as low impact. So Jai Newcomb's had the exact same call, so the same grading and the same fine, rather than a suspension for the cheap punch to the guts.
Yeah, but I'd even take it back because he was looking at him. It doesn't make it right.
Yeah, so the swinging elbow backwards...
The swinging elbow back in all footy has always been a frowned upon. You know what? It's a pretty cheap shot to flail back to a guy who's not expecting it. I think it's a cheap shot. The AFL should have said, no, you're out, Dusty, you can sit. We don't care who you are. That's unacceptable in our game. And kids, don't do that. But the point I'm making now is being facetious. Yeah. If we're going to allow that and not be a suspension, well, might as well do it. Or everyone do it this weekend. It's only a $1,500 fine. Who cares?